Welcome to the EmpowerME podcast, your essential listen for dancers navigating their college journey and beyond. Dive into conversations with esteemed industry leaders, educators, and experts as they shed light on the diverse avenues within the dance world. Our mission is to offer clear guidance and essential information, empowering dancers to confidently shape their future in dance. I'm Nikki Lucia, veteran studio owner, high school dance team coach, proud mom, and the founder of EmpowerME Movement Network. Today, we're excited to introduce Stephanie Noori and Ashley Simmons, leaders and co-owners of West Coast Elite Dance Championships. Together, they lead WCE Dance, hosting competitions and conventions across the U.S. for high school, middle school, elementary, and dance studios. During our conversation, we explore the dynamic evolution of dance team choreography and the exciting opportunities dancers have today to shape their own paths. We talk about the launch of their university recruitment experience at their upcoming nationals event and how the collaboration with the EmpowerME Movement platform plays a pivotal role in nurturing and showcasing dancers' talents. Hello, everyone. Welcome to EmpowerME podcast. Stephanie and Ashley from WCE, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are joined by, of course, as always, Mr. Robert Contreras and our amazing producer, Jackie Mugel. She's waving. How are we today? It's raining out.
It is raining.
It's just San Diego. Crazy.
Who would have
weather.
thought?
Who would have thought? I know. But we're here. I'm so happy to be here with you guys.
Us too.
Yeah, so we'd love to talk to you about WCE and your dance backgrounds. How did you get into dance? Let's start there. Let's start with your childhood. How
I was not even 2, and my mom brought me, and I went to Bobby's, and
Bobby school.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
With
Yes.
Bobby Talbot, I
Yes.
love her. Oh my gosh, she
The
was
OG.
my
That's amazing.
She was my mentor back in the day
Oh,
when
yeah,
I first
she-
opened the studio.
She started her studio in her garage. So yeah,
I love that story.
yeah. So and then I did the company. I did the whole thing.
Yeah.
Mandy Moore was my company director.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm. So I had the best
Yes.
experience growing up, and then I went to OCU, Oklahoma City University, and I danced there. It was one of the few schools at the time where you could still do jazz and contemporary, but they pushed
Yes.
Broadway really hard. So a lot of people go to New York, and I came back here and I did cruise ships, and then I did commercial work and background dancing and all that stuff. I taught a bunch, and that's how Ashley and I met.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was that.
Okay. What about you?
So I'm originally from Missouri. So I started dancing at the age of 3 at a dance studio there all the way through high school. Started my college career at University of Missouri, Kansas City in their B of A program. I was there for a year and a half, and then I moved to Texas. Ended up graduating with my Bachelor of Fine Arts from Sam Houston State. And while I was at Sam Houston, I danced on the Houston Texans. We're making it in the playoffs. Or no, we actually lost. We did lose yesterday. I was like, no, we lost. We were so close. We actually had a good team this year, so that's good. But so I danced there, and for 3 years was a captain a year, and then moved to Cali, and did some backup dancing. Danced for an entertainment company that did Broadway shows and Cirque du Soleil that wasn't Cirque du Soleil, but amazing. They have an amazing team. It's Imagination Entertainment. Okay. They're based out of San Diego. So I danced for them, and then started teaching more. I taught when I was in Texas. I taught when I was back in Missouri as well. And then started teaching, and then met Steph.
Wow.
Yeah. So where did you guys meet? How did your guys' paths cross?
We were both teaching at the same studio together, and we just hit it off, and
Yes.
that was that.
Oh my gosh. So just by teaching together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you created this, synergy relationship, and what was it that made you decide to form West Coast?
Yeah. So I started that prior to Ashley and I meeting. I
Yes.
Okay.
think. So I started it with another girl, Becky. And I was just choreographing for a bunch of different schools were bringing me in to choreograph, and then I'd come back and work with them after their competitions. And they were getting like feedback like from their tape. It was when we had cassette tapes,
Oh,
right?
yes.
And their feedback would be like, great spins, great party jump. And I'm like, I don't think a dancer is judging you. Like,
Yes.
so I was like, wow, these were like studio dancers, amazing dancers. And I just didn't feel like they had a platform that like honored what they were doing. You know what I mean? And so I started, Becky and she was actually coaching Westlake at the time. Okay. We started our first competition. It was just a total passion project. Like I had no like vision or goal or any for it to become what it is now. Yeah. And it was just like, I just want to get these dancers something that like honors their abilities, you know? Luckily people came, because you never know. Right. And it was a hit and everyone loved it. And then the next year I think we had one in San Diego, and then we did San Diego and San Jose, and it just kept growing, like not because of any brilliance from me, just like people liked it.
I would disagree.
And so they came, and that was it. And then we brought Ashley in.
I was just like, I was one of the staff members, you know, just walking around and making sure everybody was having fun and acting like a goober on the side, you know, de-stressing the kids before they take the floor. Yeah. And then as we were starting to expand a little bit more, we had interest from other areas. It was, hey, do you want to kind of jump in a little more? Because I was like, put me on every comp. Like, I love this, like the energy of the kids. Bring me in. And so they were like, well, we've got some opportunities. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is great. Yeah. And then...
Yeah, and then Becky, who was with us, she like wanted to focus on family and things like that. And so it was all very good and copacetic, and she's amazing. Yes. But she kind of wanted to step aside, and so it kind of gave Ashley space to come in, and
here we are.
Here we are.
And how do you guys complement each other and running the business together? Like, you know, you know what I mean? Like, I work with someone and she handles all the business, and I do the artistic side, and that's kind of how our relationship works. So I'm curious to see, what do you guys bring out of each other? And
yeah, Ashley makes sure I have my purse and keys, which is very
yes. Yes, we're basically like work wives. We're constantly checking in on each other, and it's like, do we have? Did you pack? What is this? Yeah, we do a lot of the checking in of things. Yeah. I like to do a lot of the busy work, if that makes sense. More of my organizational side of things. I like to be in charge of the staff and organize them and that communication. She handles more of the teams and the coaches and the parents side. Yeah. And then, she's a little more techier than I am, but I'm learning to be more techie. Neither of us are techie by choice, no, in any way, shape, or form. But we're trying to figure it out.
We're having to get there. So yes, I would say I do more tech. Ashley's amazing with people.
I love people. I could talk to a wall.
Sometimes she pulls me out when I get too awkward, and you know.
Yeah, I love that.
We have our own. Yeah, we know. We're like, ooh, we're gonna go and pivot over here.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I have never seen you be awkward.
Oh God! Well, then you need to spend more time with me
because you know at Cathedral, because I coach Cathedral Catholic High School, as you guys know, and we have been attending WCE for a few years now, and just absolutely love it, and just think you two are just like powerhouse women.
Oh, thank you.
Leaders in the dance world. So
thank you.
So sweet.
Absolutely. What do you feel like the uniqueness is with WCE?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that separate us. You know, we were really founded on the principle there were a lot of restrictions in like school dance prior to. So I really just wanted it to be a safe space where creatives can come in and there weren't like any restrictions or rules. I mean, obviously we have to have some rules like division size or, you know, things like that, you know, so that to keep everything organized. But I would think that's our biggest separation is that we just allow the space for people to be like, do whatever they want, whatever they can envision, you know, this is the place to bring it.
Right. And you have all different categories that you can compete in, which is really great for high school dance teams to be able to. I mean, I think you added ballroom this year.
We did. We added ballroom. I haven't seen a ballroom
we have
piece
not
yet.
Seen
We're waiting for it.
Yes, that's one.
But yeah, you know, just trying to keep up with like what is, because ballroom has become so big.
Oh, yes.
You know? So we just try and keep up with what is happening in the dance world and just try and honor, because I mean, these kids are amazing, you know. They're these studio dancers. They have the technique. They have everything. I mean, it's so, you don't, at least when I grew up, you didn't think of high school dance teams like being as strong as they are now, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They're just so incredible.
It is crazy.
So,
Yes, we've talked about that too, is like how it has changed.
Yeah, so last night we were watching some videos and I was so impressed. I'm like, I feel like they've always had this power technique. When I go back years ago, watching dance teams, but now watching them, there's power, but there's also starting this refinement of technique.
Yes.
And I'm like, I've never noticed that before. And that's why I told you last night. I was like, wow, it's really improving in the standard of what I think these schools are looking for. It is more of a trained dancer, and then they add that power dynamic that is so impressive and athletic. Like it's always been athletic, but now there's an artistry coming into it a little bit more. Even with choreography, I was so impressed with like, wow, that choreography looks like artwork.
Yes. Yeah.
Artwork. And I get chills right now because I never really experienced dance teams like that. I have to be honest. I mean, I grew up as a dancer and I grew up in that era of like, oh, dance team? Oh. And through our conversations, it's really in the last couple of years opened my eyes to the possibility for every other dancer. Not everybody needs to go to these, you know, like a Juilliard. And like we were talking about too, the possibility. And so when I was like, I want to be a part of this because I want my kids to have this opportunity, know that this is an opportunity for them.
Absolutely.
And it's a great opportunity. It's not like a backseat, oh, I guess I'll do dance team.
Yeah, no.
And now it's like, holy, but that's a focus and a goal that needs to start really at a young age.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I just kind of went on a little
Yeah,
tangent.
no, you're spot on.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we talk about that, you know, a big part of competing at, you know, the high school level is about being a part of a team atmosphere and really celebrating your athleticism, your sport-like athleticism, your sport-like team camaraderie, which is amazing. And when you add in the artistry, and most of these kids, especially I feel like at WCE, I feel like you draw teams that appreciate, you know, the artistry. I feel like that's part of like
I mean, and that's always the goal. And I think a huge part of that is our judges, because you know the people we bring in, they really love seeing the art along with the athleticism and the technique. So
yes, it's been amazing for us as a team to be there and be able to.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
To compete in all the different genres and for all the dancers to be able to do a solo, and the solo competition is so fun.
Oh my gosh, and it's insane.
It's every year. I'm like, okay, they can't get any better. Like I'm not going to be surprised or shocked by anything that comes because they're already so good. And then every year, my jaw is literally on the floor because I'm like, how do these kids do this?
I know.
Like they're so amazing in every different way, whether it's in the technique and the tricks and the skills or just like their commitment to their love of dance.
Right.
It's the coolest thing just to like
and
watch
and
seeing them grow over the 4 years
Right.
while
That's
they're there,
my
or
favorite.
even 6 years if they come through like middle school and stuff. You're just like, you were just a little baby when you were here, you know, and then you're like look at the person that you have become and the artist that you are. Like you're not in a box. Like you are your own individual, and it's just so cool to see.
So powerful.
It is, and the energy in the gym space at the competitions is like
so
always.
fun. It's so fun.
crazy, loud. Everyone's happy. Everyone's supporting each other. It's really
That is the neatest thing.
Yeah.
Like watching teams, yes, they're competing, so there is, you know, like, of course you want to win, but everybody is constantly like, good luck, or that was awesome. Like there's no negative in the space. It's just so positive and so uplifting for everyone. I feel like the energy is just so contagious.
And I think that starts at the top. I feel like you create that atmosphere.
Oh, thank
and
you.
that,
Yeah,
goes through your judging with your judges and then into the teams that are attracted to the experience that you provide and then into the dancers for sure.
Absolutely.
So Yeah, it is great. I mean, I can definitely say as a coach, it feels very comforting to be surrounded by other teams that are, really there, like supporting you as well.
They are.
That's important. It becomes like this more of a global, unified thing than just like feeling like you're kind of against everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
I always tell my kids, I'm like, well, we're going to have a good time, but don't be fooled. We're here to compete and we would like to win. That's the point of this.
And that's great,
right. But we can also be supportive and be nice and kind as dancers and team members and all of that.
And be part of the community and lift each other up and make each other better by trying to get that first place, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's really amazing. I love it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So your tour, is it, do you guys tour all over the U.S. or is there a certain region that you guys are?
We stay pretty West Coast. There's a ton in California. We do like Las Vegas and Oregon sometimes. And
We had done Texas in the past.
We had done Texas prior to COVID. And then after COVID, we kind of didn't really make our way back out that way.
Is there a specific reason why you guys, or you in the future, do you guys see it expanding across the country, or do you want it to stay a little bit more intimate on?
We've kind of preferred keeping it a little bit more intimate. Different regions of the country kind of have different styles, right?
Okay.
And then the way they structure it or their timelines are very different.
Their
of
dance
their comp seasons, or they break it into different things. So it's hard to get in the sense of just not knowing. Like we know California, but just because obviously we're here. But some of the other ones, it's just trying to navigate how their stuff works and not take away from what they already have, but trying to add can be tricky.
Right, that makes sense. That does make sense. I would love to see other teams get to experience the WCE experience, because there's so many dance teams that are like in the Midwest and the East Coast.
Yeah, and luckily we do, and especially now that COVID is done. Like, God, what are we, like 4 years out? We're still like COVID, we are seeing a lot of teams coming in from all over. Like this year we have Florida and Texas and Utah and Idaho and just, God, I think we have like 15 different states.
So you do get people
for our
nationals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we have a lot of
teams this year. Do you have to do a regional in order to do nationals?
You don't.
Even know that.
Our nationals is open, so you don't need to. And we allow teams to send us videos, so we can help them because we have 3 different levels of competition at nationals, so we can help place them there. But it's totally open.
That's a really great advantage for those teams that already have.
We know, we want people to get to experience as, many competition companies, but with it being in California, if they are on the East Coast or the Midwest, we know that's not like a easy, everybody just pay for their own flight like 3 times to try and get,
exactly.
It's a big expense, but
I think that's
getting
a
them out there for
brilliant
nationals
idea,
is really
keeping
cool.
it open.
Yeah.
I love that because then it does open that up to others who might be like, oh, I want to try WCE, but really this is not feasible for our team to fly, to the West Coast 3 times.
Right.
So they just, make that trip just once to see what that's like.
And then it's great for all the California teams because they get to experience a true nationals where you have teams coming from everywhere.
So everyone's like, whoa, what, that was the coolest thing, just seeing how different states do the same categories, but, it's just different in the coolest ways, because they're used to just seeing all of their same teams that they compete against, and then they're like, oh, that palm was awesome, or, just different energies.
Yeah, there's just different styles coming from different regions, which is really cool.
Yes, and nationals in Long Beach, the Long Beach, it's the convention center, but it's the arena that you hold the national competition
which is so cool.
And it is beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, the way that it's lit and just the space, it's just so dynamic. It's really, really a great venue for that.
Yeah, it's
every time like we walk in and it's bare and we're like, okay, they get it set up and then the goosebumps just start. Yeah. The lights turn on and I'm like, oh, she's so pretty. Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, so it's hard to have a negative experience when you're like all of these different dynamics play into it, and it's just such a beautiful event and experience. What do you feel? Now, how many years has it been actually that you've had WCE?
2008 was the first one. Okay. That was the little passion projects one at Westlake High School with, God, I don't know how many teams we had. Maybe like 12 teams. Yeah. Which I felt was so successful. I was like, people came. Oh my God, they came. Yay. And then it's just like I said, it wasn't like this vision or anything. We just kind of kept adding to it because people wanted more, and like, God bless, that people wanted to keep coming. And so it just kind of grew on its own,
It was very organic.
I love that. Yeah. That's so amazing. It was like you filled this void, and everyone was saying, yes, it is a void, and we need to be coming. And then it just grew from there. And that is just really, really cool. Really awesome. So what do you think the most unexpected, challenge or?
Oh gosh, I would say would be technology. Like we've put so much technology into our platform now. Every dancer that competes gets all the photos, all the videos. And with that comes a lot of challenges and, setting up, and you don't get like a hardline Wi-Fi at the school. People don't realize that, just challenges like that. That would be our biggest one, is how into technology we are now versus when we started with our cassette tapes.
Yeah. Launching them together. Yeah. Everyone got their little box full of all their tapes that they would take home. Yeah. It was from each judge. And then we went from those to the little recorders that then you have to plug in and then drag and drop and then send. And now it's like, just a button. But it's also the scariest of buttons because...
Well, it has to work.
That's the hardest. You can hit
challenge.
The button, but if it's not going to do the thing, then
yeah,
but we figure it out.
Which we know because that happened to us this morning with our technology here. It's like, how many dance teachers does it take to figure this out? Yeah, it can't be that hard. It's just cameras and microphones. For God's sakes. But it is challenging because it does have, like we said, it has a mind of its own.
Absolutely,
it will be working 1 second, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
So with the challenges, or I guess how do I phrase this? What drives you to keep going? Like, what inspires you, or what has been something that when you started this, you never thought that you would have gotten this pride or this feeling out of that is continue to drive you to keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah, I would say for me, it's like watching the dancers' growth, kind of to touch on what you were saying earlier, watching the dancers' growth each year, like from where they start as a freshman and then seeing them as a senior and seeing their senior solo, or watching dancers that maybe hadn't been so successful in terms of awards in the past, watching them make the top 10 or something the next year, and you're like, oh my God, you were like a different dancer this year, and it's so beautiful to see them come into their own, or like the kids that get up and they're in tears because they never received something like that before. Yeah. Or it's just so cool to watch them.
Seriously though, it is one of those things where it's all for the kids.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's amazing. It is inspiring. I mean, we're all sitting, look at us all. We're getting choked up because we're all dance educators sitting here and then trying to, bring such positive experiences to dancers. It's really, really a special thing. And I know, Gianna, my daughter, I talk about her a lot, I feel like, on the podcast, but I think it's because she is a senior. It feels like,
well, she is really the catalyst of even EmpowerME. She's the catalyst of what you went through to try to, you're like, this is hard. How do other parents do it? And you were like, I'm a dance educator. And there's so much I don't know. And so she was really the catalyst of what kind of
Absolutely. Yeah. Because when I started researching, what it is that she would want to do past high school, I was like, this is crazy. How am I a dance educator and I don't have all the information or know where to go?
So much. Yeah.
Yes. And so that was the catalyst. Yeah. And now that she's a senior, it's I feel like I've been on this journey with her through her whole dance life. And now I'm we're almost at the end of this journey. So I'm also tearing up because I'm like, wow, I've also, witnessed my own child go through WCE since she was a freshman. And, and, thinking about yesterday, her and I are working on one of her solos together, like mommy-daughter choreography moment. And we just were working on it yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. Like knowing, her journey and, going to be watching her on that stage, doing her senior solo at WCE, in just a couple weeks. Wow. It's so crazy how time just flies by, but how rewarding it is and how special it is that, she's had the opportunity to be able to share her artistry and her athleticism,
Absolutely.
in, the venue of WCE for sure. So I've witnessed it as a mother and a coach.
Yeah. So in hearing that, the so much passion and love that you have for these kids and seeing them grow, it's probably not surprising that you now are starting a recruitment program, correct?
Yes. Our university recruitment experience, which we are, this of all things we've done, like I love our summer dance experience. Our convention is
awesome.
Amazing.
Amazing faculty.
I love the competitions. This of anything we've done, I am most excited for. Because like you were saying, there's so much out there. There's so much, and the kids don't know what they don't know. There's so much to learn. And we have these amazing schools coming, like amazing, top notch. And it's just to help these kids be part of that journey into their next step and to be able to keep dancing. Like even if they don't want to do professional dancing, but they're not ready for it to be over, to help them find that outlet is like so exciting and so cool. I just want like every dancer to be a part of it because I feel like there's so much opportunity in this for them, and especially with partnering with EmpowerME, and that platform is so amazing that they're able to show these schools what they can do ahead of time. It's just the best thing for them.
Like I wish something like this would have been around.
Right?
There's just so much that you don't know, and the amount of time you'd have to spend, you'd spend your whole 4 years of high school trying to figure it all out. Right. And then by the time you figure it out, or potentially figure it out, you've already graduated and you're not even doing anything in dance. Like these kids.
That's so true.
With them loving, like watching their love and passion for dance, all we want is the best for them, for their futures and all this stuff. So anything we can do to help get them the information,
or get them
seen by people. Yeah, just giving them any opportunities. Like, wish we could have had that, like, growing up.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever we can give to them, hands down, we'll do it. I feel like.
Yeah, and that is really the rewarding part too, is that you're seeing these dancers through their journey and sort of sending them off to fly away as well into, something, keeping dance in their life past high school.
Yeah.
With, as we've seen, not every dancer wants to, go to a conservatory for their post-high school dance experience.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are dancers that do want the full college experience, but still be able to dance beyond high school.
And dance at the level they're used to, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so we always talk about, like, college dance team is, like, the perfect experience for dancers who, maybe don't see themselves doing a BFA, but would really love to continue to dance and be a part of that team atmosphere. But it is amazing that you guys are able to offer that and bring in those, college programs, not just dance teams, but programs as well, to give the dancers, a wealth of opportunity, at their fingertips. And with EmpowerMe, they do get to have access to that information and that networking prior to the in-person experience, which I think is really valuable too.
Absolutely.
That they'll get an idea of, okay, I can research all of the teams and the programs before I get there, so I know, who's going to be represented and what opportunities I could have at that experience.
Yeah.
So,
and just even bringing them the opportunities of, like, a school in the Midwest may not have been on their radar, but then they get to talking with them at, like, we'll have the teams there, a university row set up so the dancers can engage with the program leaders, and just being able to offer that to them when something they didn't even think that was something they would want or need, and maybe that is the best space for them, so it's going to be really cool.
It's like the college fair that we would used to have, but
for dancers,
but only for dance. So that way they can, really navigate, because I feel like, back then it was just most of the schools you wouldn't even go and talk to because nobody had, or you wouldn't have even known if they have any kind of dance program. And just seeing where all of the dance programs have, like, how much those have grown, and then with the dance team side, how amazing they are, you know, in all different divisions and levels and things. Like, they've just exploded even more, you know, and there's so many that, you know, you only have the ones that you think are on your radar, but there's those little hidden gems that you might not know about, but you might meet at University Row.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I was just going to say, it really sounds like it's really going to change so many kids' lives.
Yes.
Because of what you just said. Someone's going to come and not have a clue that, oh, I can gravitate to this, you know, gravitate to that. I had dancers that I took to New York one time, and one girl, she was like, I'm going to go to UNLV. I don't think I'm going to dance. And she did a college audition that the convention had provided. You know, it's very similar to what you guys are going to do. And literally, Marymount said, I would like you to come to school, gave her a scholarship, and in August, she moved to New York, and she still lives in New York, and it can literally change her entire path.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's what I feel like this is what's gonna happen to some of these dancers. They're gonna go, and they may not have thought, oh, that school's amazing, or they're gonna click to something different, you know, and it's just gonna change the trajectory of their lives in such a powerful way.
Absolutely.
So that's really
I know.
awesome.
I'm like so excited.
It's very exciting. Yeah, and with all the different types of, we just want to talk about dance teams for a second. You have spirit or game day focused dance teams, and then you have competitive dance teams. And within those two kind of divisions, you have dance teams that are more focused on hip hop or more focused on pom. There's so many different types of teams that I find myself even telling dancers who, I'll say, oh, you know, is it freshman in high school? What do you want to do past high school? Well, I want to be a lawyer. Okay, well, do you want to, you know, keep dancing past high school? Well, no, because I want to be a lawyer. I don't see myself on, like, you know, a competitive dance team, or I don't see myself doing a BFA, obviously, because I'm more academic focused because I have this other goal. And with all the different types of teams there are, and even programs, there is that perfect fit for everyone to continue dancing beyond high school, even if they don't see themselves moving into a career for dance at any point in their life. They can still participate as minimally, or, you know, as, you know, some of those competitive teams, it's like they are athletes. And so
absolutely.
That is their, you know, besides their academics, that is their, you know, primary objective by being a part of that team, you know, is competing and doing that like any other athlete on the campus. But if you are interested in continuing dancing, whether it's just for an activity or the social part, or just because you love to dance, there are so many different programs that can support you in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. I think it'll be really exciting for you guys to see the dancers that you have kind of, you know, push through your system there from freshman to senior, and then to see
where they go next.
Yes, and how they accept this
awesome.
Experience and those connections.
Yes. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, and to know that you guys created that platform too, I think it's going to go even further. You know, when you see that young kid, then you created this platform because she was here, she went over there, and then you're going to watch that portion of her journey. Like,
absolutely.
It's just very empowering.
Very empowering.
I like what you did there.
Yeah, and we're kind of kicking it off right now, actually, with the platform being open for dancers to post their content and find informations about the different universities and the programs and the teams, and then getting the program leaders onto the platform as well to view the dancers' profiles and their content prior to the in-person event, March 1st.
Yes.
So that's just happening. That's happening right now. It's so exciting.
Yes.
So we're just getting a taste of it. It's only going to get better.
That's right.
And I just couldn't imagine doing this, being a part of a recruitment experience with anyone else. So we're just so happy at EmpowerME to be with you guys and doing this experience.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's like a perfect synergy for
absolutely
what they need. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful time getting to know you guys, and your vision is so powerful, and I'm so excited to see where it takes you guys. It's gonna be
thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to EmpowerME Movement podcast today. If you found value in our conversation, you can join us at EmpowerMeMovement.com to access more resources for dancers and join our vibrant community. In the next episode, Jason Parsons takes us through his dance background and how his ongoing commitment to dance education reflects a deep-seated passion in his choreography. Our discussion underscores how dance, fueled by knowledge and passion, has transformed and evolved over time, pushing boundaries and opening new avenues for artistic expression. Please consider subscribing, rating, and leaving a review. Until next time, thank you for being a part of our journey.